In the days of the early church, when faith burned brighter than fear, there lived Thecla, a young woman of noble birth in the city of Iconium. Her days were filled with comfort, her future already decided, a marriage arranged, a family proud. Her path seemed set in stone, but destiny had another plan. This is the story of Paul and Thecla. One day, a traveler named Paul began to preach in her city. His words carried a fire unlike anything they had heard before. He spoke of love, not bound by desire, not driven by pride, but a love that came from God Himself, a love that called for purity, faith, and surrender. Day after day, Thecla sat by her window, drawn by Paul's words. But Thecla's devotion did not go unnoticed. Her mother, proud and traditional, began to worry. Whispers spread through their household that her daughter had fallen under the influence of a strange preacher. One evening, her mother's voice rose in anger. "Thecla! You shame our family with this madness. This man, Paul, he speaks against our customs, our gods, our way of life." But Thecla sat quietly, her hands folded, eyes calm and still, for she had heard a voice greater than her mother's, a voice that spoke of faith, stronger than fear. Her fiancé, a young nobleman draped in fine linen, demanded her obedience, his tone sharp with pride. He reminded her of their promise, their future, their wealth, their place among the people. Yet Thecla remained silent. She simply listened, and soon Thecla's quiet faith became the talk of the city. The leaders of Iconium, angered by Paul's message of purity and freedom, ordered his arrest. Thecla left her home in secret and found the cell where Paul was held. Through the iron bars, their eyes met. He, weary but unbroken, she, trembling, yet full of faith. "Thecla," Paul said gently, "do not be afraid of the path that God has set before you. For in that silent prison, a fire was rekindled, not the flame of rebellion, but of divine purpose. Two souls, bound not by chains, but by faith. After that night, by the prison walls, whispers spread through the city. Whispers of a woman who defied her family, her fiancé, and even the governor's decree. They said she followed the words of the prisoner Paul, that she had turned her back on wealth and marriage, choosing instead the path of faith. The streets buzzed with outrage and fear. Roman guards stormed through the alleys searching for her. Thecla was taken, bound in chains, yet her eyes remained calm, filled not with terror, but with peace. Before the governor's seat, she stood accused of rebellion, of dishonor, of faith in a strange new teaching. The governor's sentence was death by fire, for Thecla defied her family, her betrothed, and the law of Rome, and denied the gods of her city. Soldiers dragged her through the streets as the people shouted. A pyre was built high before the crowd. Its flames danced hungry and wild. But when the fire was lit, the wind began to shift. Flames swirled around her, never touching her robe. The air glowed with a light not of this world, and in that moment, all who watched knew the God Paul spoke of was truly alive. Days later, by the quiet banks of a river outside Iconium, Paul placed his hand upon her shoulder. "Go, daughter of faith," he said. "Your light will guide many." Passed, and Thecla became a teacher, a healer, a voice for the forgotten. Her story spread far beyond Iconium, a story of courage that outlived the flames. Faith had made her free, and her light still burns in every heart that dares to believe. And so, Thecla's courage became a light that no flame could destroy. Through fire and fear, through silence and storm, her faith stood unshaken. Her story still whispers through time, reminding us that even the smallest spark of faith can outshine the darkest night. What about you? When your faith is tested, will your flame still burn? Tell us in the comments below. How does Thecla's courage inspire you today? Because the flame of faith still burns, even now. If these stories touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Until next time, stay blessed.